Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at my BMW MC custom plug and play wiring harnesses. The example you can see here is an M340 G21. These looms will fit in a number of G series cars and F series cars for that matter. This is a small modification that makes a big impact on the looks of your interior. So here's some shots of before and after the M Illuminated logos, and I think you'll agree they look quite special when they're in. It really lifts the interior. So let's take a look at the NJW 1967 plug and play wiring kits. So on the screen now guys, you can see images of the M Illuminated logos and also the part numbers that you need to order. These are not included in the kit. You do need to buy these separately from your BMW dealer. Or if you're lucky, you may find some pre-owned from a breaker's yard. If you search that number in Google, it'll bring them up and it'll give you an idea of where you can get them from. I generally find it's easier to just order them direct from a BMW dealer. So let's take a look at a typical M Illumination kit to fit most G series BMWs. So this kit's been developed to be plug and play. There's no cutting of wires. All the connections, all the connectors and the plugs that are used in this kit are all OE BMW spec connection plugs, sourced from the manufacturer. So you're getting BMW quality. The wires is a BMW spec cable, and as you can see, all the looms are nicely wrapped. This is your connector that goes to the ambient light. So you can see there, BMW connectors. There's no cutting to do, it's all plug and play. In your kit, this typical kit, these are not fitted. These are the two plugs that go up to the LED light in the headrest. These are not fitted because you have to thread this portion of cable through the chrome tube, which I'll go through in the instructions later on in the video. But it's quite easy to fit, guys. I've got it down to about 15 minutes per seat now. So taking your time, it's an hour's job, I would say. You don't need a great deal of mechanical skills. It's quite easy to do, and I would have thought I've provided these kits to many guys out there who are not highly skilled with electrical and mechanical work, and they've managed to do it with a bit of support from myself. So yeah, if you are somebody that does a bit of DIY stuff on your cars, then you'll find it a doddle, an absolute doddle. But that's the kits, guys. That's the quality that you're looking at. Just to go further, these are the extension looms. So these are the extension cables that I supply for G22 cars and G42 cars. Now these require extensions because BMW removed the ambient lighting under the seats, so further requiring an extension to run from the front ambient light under the carpet, down the rocker trim or rocker panel or sill trim, depending on where you live, and this will extend and give you the supply and the control to your lights. Now all these cables are quality checked, the resistance checked. The draw from the LED is very minimal. It's about somewhere in the region of about 150 milliamps, so it's absolutely minimal. There's no CAN bus errors with these guys. It's just a simple plug and play, and away you go. And as you've seen in the video, guys, it just transforms the interior. So if you're in the market and you want to illuminate your headrest badges for that bit of extra class in your car, email in the description, send me an email and we'll get some out to you. I'll post them out worldwide. So in terms of fitment, guys, these kits will fit most G series cars that are fitted with the BMW M Sport seat, the 711 option M Sport seat, they also will fit cars like the X6, X5, G05, G06 with the sports seats and the non-illuminated black badges fitted. So yeah, so G21, G01, G02, you know, most of the G series cars. The other thing, guys, so if you've got an X3M Competition or an X4M Competition and you want your badges to be illuminated permanently, I do also do a kit to bypass the switch so that they stay permanently illuminated. This is also the case for the M3 and the G series M3, the G series M4. So if you want to keep your illuminated lights on permanently while the ignition's on and the car's running, that's an option for you. And I have supplied plenty of kits to people with those. Just let me know. Send me a photograph of your seat and a photograph underneath it through the email, and I should be able to analyse whether the kit will suit you or not. So yeah, so hope that made sense, guys, and we'll move on now and we'll have a look at the fitting instructions. Okay, let's crack on with the fitting guide. First thing, move the front seat as far forward as it will go and then raise it to its highest position. Then look under the back edge at the bottom of the seat. At the bottom of the yellow arrows, you'll then see two plastic bungs which can be removed with a trim tool. Remove the plastic stopper bungs. This will reveal two TX25 torque screws. Remove these two torque screws. Starting at the bottom, pull the seat out slightly to release the fixings and push upwards. The seat back is held on with some hooks, so you need to firmly push upwards to release the hooks. At this point you should have removed the seat back to reveal the insides of the front seat. Next we'll move on to the headrest. First job here is to remove the black plastic M emblem. Simply insert a blunt tool like a punch or something similar and push forward. The badge will come out of its fixing. Next, using a small flat screwdriver or a hook type tool, remove the black plastic trim that is pushed into a channel on the back of the headrest. As you pull this out, it will release the cover for the headrest. This may appear a bit tricky to start with, but I can assure you once you get the hang of it, it's easy going. When you've released all the clips, this will allow you to remove the vinyl cover, including the foam pad for the headrest. This will reveal a small detachable frame that's held in with 3 lugs. All you do is pull on the lugs gently at the sides and the top, and this panel will remove. Locate in the kit one of the extension cables that has no plug fitted. Please do not proceed beyond this point if you've made any electrical connections to the ambient lighting circuit, as this will blow a fuse. We will now move on to feeding the extension cable up through the chrome tube and into the headrest area. If the cable is proving difficult to feed through the chrome tube upwards, please insert a piece of stiff wire downwards from the headrest to the bottom where the cable is with no plug on. Attach this cable with some insulation tape and pull it through to the desired position within the headrest. When you have successfully pulled the cables through the chrome tube into the headrest aperture, you will see there are plastic channels moulded into the headrest to route the cables to the desired position. It's now time to fit the plug for the LED illuminated M logo. As you can see in the picture there, pin 1 is red and pin 2 is black. Carefully feed these connections into the black plug
and snap closed the catch on the plug to stop the wires coming back out. You can now feed the plugged cable into position where the M Illuminated logo will be installed in the headrest. At this point you can replace the headrest cover and its foam and plug in your M Illuminated badge and click it into its given position. Note there is a small plastic hook at the bottom of the headrest bracket. You can use this to apply a zip tie to hold the cable tight as it exits from the bracket. Make sure you leave plenty of slack cable here, as this moves up and down on the motor to raise and lower the headrest. Then feed the cable down to the bottom side of the seat on the left hand side, securing it using the upholstery clips and feeding the cable behind. You will find at the bottom of the seat the existing seat cables, where you can exit the cable out of the bottom and neatly route it to the area close to the ambient light. This task will be repeated on the other seat, although bear in mind it will be a mirror of the one you've just done, so the cables will route down the right hand side of the seat. We will now remove the ambient light from its holder. Please watch the short video clip which will show you the easiest way to get this light out.
Right, I hope you can see this. All you do is you get a little flat blade screwdriver like this, shove it into that side and pull it down, and out it pops. As easy as that. When you get it out, pull it out, and that's where you plug it in. That's where your wire lead plugs into. And then to put it back in, just clip it back in.
So by this point guys, you should have easily removed your ambient light from under the seat without causing any damage. Next step will be to unplug the OE connector from the ambient light. Then feed this cable outside of the ambient light holder. Next step, the OE connector that you fed to the outside of the ambient light holder, commonly this plug is coloured red. Take this plug and plug it into the supplied Y connector. These plugs are polarised, you can't get this wrong. Then feed the spare 4-pin connector back inside the ambient light holder as per the OE position. So now it's just a case of tidying up the wires, tucking everything out the way and clipping your ambient light back into its holder. The last connection to be made is the 2-pin plug that comes from your M ambient light down to the Y connector. Make this connection and you will have beautiful M Illuminated logos in your headrests. As easy as that. You can now proceed to refit your seat back in reverse order as removal, and you're good to go. Of course guys, don't forget to safely secure any cables that were hanging down to ensure the look of a nice neat OE Plus installation. So if your BMW hasn't got ambient lighting under the passenger and driver's seat, there is a solution. Providing you have ambient lights in the front footwells, this can also be catered for. Some of the cars that are affected by this are the G42, the G30 and also the G22. Step 1. So if you're going to remove the driver's side dash panel completely, ensure you disconnect the battery of the vehicle first. This will avoid any fault codes with disconnecting of the emergency response speaker. The passenger side panels are normally held on with quarter turn clips. The driver's side is usually fastened with Torx screws. When you gain access to the rear of these panels, you could unplug the ambient lights with the OE connectors and replace them with the supplied Y connector. This will then allow you to plug in the optional supplied extension cable. With the rocker trim removed, or sill trim in the UK as we call it, route your wires along it in the OE wiring position, securing with zip ties. When you route the cable to the point of the front seat fixing, you can then turn across towards the centre of the car. We will now feed the cable under the seat bracket and the carpet using the gap in the carpet that goes up to the subwoofer. If you find this difficult, you may need to find something to help guide it through, like a stiff piece of wire or possibly an electrician's fishing tool. Tape the cables to the end of it and pull them through to the position required. When you get the cables to the point of the subwoofer, you can feed them through the gap in the carpet and under and out of the OE position. This will then follow the path of the OE wiring loom up to the base of the seat. As mentioned in the previous installation, I would always recommend you fit the seat wiring harnesses first and then come back and make the connection to the ambient lighting. This will avoid any issues with blown fuses in case you accidentally decide to plug them in. The only other thing I forgot to mention on the two-door cars, the seat folding lever can be a bit tricky to get back in. Now if you remove the fixing screw that holds the handle on, you can use this to hold the latch open without the handle fitted and wedge a plastic trim tool in the hole to hold it until you get the handle back in place and screw it on. I'm sure that'll make sense when you come to do the job. And there you have it. Just like magic, you will have your M Illuminated logos on your BMW. The solution you're about to see is for M cars that require the logos to be illuminated all the time while the ignition is on. So with the seat back removed, locate the connection block that supplies the M Illumination logo in the headrest. You can see this here in the picture. This is a 3-pin plug from factory, although only 2 of the holes are populated. With M competition cars, this is much easier than previous because you don't have to thread the wire up the chrome tube, as this cabling is already in position. However, we will have to de-pin the 3-pin plug and replace it with a 2-pin plug that will come from the Y lead connector coupled to the ambient lighting system. Take a picture of this plug and the pin positions for future reference in case you want to revert this back to standard if you sell your car. The best way to de-pin these connectors is to buy a cheap set of de-pinning tools from Amazon. They're about £6 UK and maybe $7 or $8 US, well worth the money. When you've de-pinned the wires from the OE 3-pin plug, reinsert the cables into the supplied 2-pin connector. Pin 1, red, is 12 volt, the positive. Pin 2, green, is ground. Don't worry if you get these the wrong way around the first time, it will not harm the LED. But if for some reason your light doesn't work, check this out. You can then save the spare OE connector in its female socket, put a bit of tape around it and tuck it out the way. At least you know where it is, it'll never go missing. It'll just be tucked away safely down the back of your seat. You can then follow the previous instructions to fit the Y connector to the ambient light. Then run in the 2-pin connector from the ambient light and plug it into the M Illuminated logo. You will find next to where the 3-pin connector was located, there is a slot that will take the 2-pin connector, so it will fit there nice and securely and hold itself in. And all that's left to do now is tidy up your work, secure all your cables and refit your seat back. And there you have it. Always on M Illuminated logos on your G Series M competition cars. Just like to mention that these kits are also compatible with the plug-in electric BMW i4 when optioned with the M Sport seats. I'd also like to say thank you very much for joining me today, and if you found this video useful, please give it a like and please consider subscribing for more tech stuff from NJW 1967. Bye for now.